Today in Drama Life, the Isabella GUZMÁN case. In the last year, there's been a social network that has grown tremendously. Yes, we're talking about TikTok, where anyone can create a viral video at any given time. But just as there are comedy videos, dances, and challenges, there are also videos that are a bit more sinister and mysterious. Today, we're going to tell you about the case of Isabella GUZMÁN, who recently went viral thanks to the videos of her appearing on TikTok, even though her story dates back to 2013. If creepy and sinister is your thing, then what are you waiting for to subscribe to the channel and turn on the little bell? On August 13, the judge charges Isabella GUZMÁN, an 18-year-old woman, for the murder of her mother, Yoon-mi Hoi. The woman was stabbed a total of 79 times, 31 in the face and 48 in the neck. According to witness reports, Isabella waited for her mother to return from work and committed the crime when she was taking a shower. The young woman then fled the scene and was arrested by police officers in a nearby parking lot after a 16-hour search. What was Isabella's motive for murdering her mother? Well, Isabella was born in the state of Colorado in 1995, the first daughter of Yoon-mi Hoi and Robert GUZMÁN. As a child, the girl was like any other, with a cheerful, kind, and very intelligent personality. She never got into any trouble. From her childhood until her teenage years, Isabella got along very well with her parents. However, a misunderstanding between her parents resulted in their divorce. Isabella's custody was left in the hands of her mother, who remarried sometime later to a man named Ryan Hoi. This didn't sit well with Isabella, who began to see her mother as a selfish woman for having married another man. No one could ever replace her father. The fights between Isabella and her mother were occurring with a greater frequency and intensity, to the point of becoming violent. The girl's attitude had changed drastically. Isabella went from being a kind and sweet girl to a rebellious, rude, and aggressive teenager. Her mother was very concerned about her daughter's sudden change. Things took a turn for the worse when Yoon-mi got a tip from a neighbor informing her that her daughter was bringing an unknown man home when she was away. The woman got into an argument with Isabella over the issue that led to a fierce fight. The next morning, Yoon-mi received an email from her daughter with the text, "You are going to pay for it." The woman was very frightened and called the police to tell them that her daughter had threatened her and that she feared Isabella might hurt her. The police arrived at Isabella's home on the afternoon of Wednesday, August 28, 2013. The officers had talked with the girl in which they informed her that if she didn't change her behavior towards her mother might kick her out of the house as she had already turned 18. Yoon-mi also contacted the girl's father, who visited the house after the police did. The father and daughter talked and told her that she should put aside her rebelliousness and be obedient and respectful to her elders. For Robert, the conversation had worked successfully, or so he thought. After a few hours later, around 9:30, Yoon-mi returned home from work. Isabella had locked herself in her room and Ryan was downstairs having dinner. The woman went upstairs to take a shower. Suddenly, Ryan heard a loud knock and his wife screaming his name. He rushed up the stairs and saw the bathroom door was opened. Inside was Isabella, who, seeing Ryan, leaned against the door with her back against it and locked it. After a few moments, Ryan could see blood dripping from under the door. Immediately, Ryan went downstairs to get his cell phone and call the police. He went back upstairs to the bathroom with the call still in progress. He was shocked to see the scene, as Isabella stood in the doorframe holding a knife with her hand. The young woman was wearing a pink top and blue shorts. Without looking away from the front door and without saying a word to Ryan, Isabella walked to the front door and fled the house. Ryan entered the bathroom and saw his wife's body on the floor, covered in blood wounds and with a baseball bat underneath. Police confirmed her death upon arrival. This was followed by a search to find the girl. Authorities received a call the next day reporting the presence of a body inside a car in a parking lot near the crime scene. When they arrived, the car was empty, but they found items related to the murder. To find Isabella, undercover officers were called in for backup, as Isabella was likely to be nearby. One of these officers managed to recognize the girl and Isabella was arrested in the parking lot minutes later. On Friday, August 30th, 2013, Isabella GUZMÁN was charged with first-degree murder for stabbing her mother a total of 79 times in the face and neck. The judge ordered the girl held without bail during the murder investigation. At the time, the girl could face the death penalty. Approximately 10 months later, Isabella pleaded guilty by reason of insanity. Prosecutors found clear evidence that the young woman suffered from a mental disorder. One of them happened at the trial in August 2013, in which you can perfectly see how Isabella looks at the court camera gesturing and smiling as if she was innocent. Stay with this last detail because it'll be important for another part of the story, okay? The doctor who diagnosed her stated that the young woman had been suffering from delusions for several years and that she actually stabbed her mother because she thought she was a woman named Cecilia, who had to die to save the world. The judge accepted the insanity plea and ordered that Isabella be committed to a psychiatric hospital, where she'd had to remain under the treatment and observation until she was no longer considered a threat to the community. The trial ended and Isabella was not sentenced. Still, in 2020, Isabella GUZMÁN's name reappeared on TikTok when a user uploaded a video showing the part of the girl's first trial where she looks at the camera and smiles. The only thing that in this TikTok video, the user had added a snippet of the song Sweet But Psycho by singer Ava Max that accompanied the images of Isabella. The lyrics said, "She's sweet but psycho, at night she screams, I'm crazy." Some on Twitter weren't happy that the video had become popular. One user posted a tweet asking to please stop romanticizing the crime and to stop making jokes about Isabella. Another posted, "She's an example of why mental health should be taken seriously and not as a joke." They argued that as a person who isn't capable of thinking coherently on her own, there is no reason to make fun of her or laugh at her situation. But the controversy over the video and Isabella's case didn't end with Twitter users. In fact, an organization in Ireland petitioned for the country's radio stations to ban Ava Max songs for its misrepresentation of psychotic illnesses. In 2019, the singer explained that her song isn't about mental disorders, but about the idea that guys sometimes call girls crazy or psycho because of how they act. In fact, that had happened to her in previous relationships. And what is Isabella's situation in 2021? The young woman, now 26 years old, continues under treatment and medication to recover from her mental health. In November 2020, she said in an interview that she was ready to return to society, that she wasn't herself when she committed the crime, and that her health has been restored. She also said that she's no longer a danger to herself or others. Although she still remains in the hospital, Isabella is allowed to leave to attend therapy as long as she wears a GPS tracker. Do you know about the case of Isabella GUZMÁN? Tell us what other famous crimes you would like to see on the channel. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the little bell. See you next time!